On today's Buckeye Roast, Ryan Day's latest media comments set the tone for Week 5, and we'll react to what stood out and what it meant. It wasn't just the coach. Players like JJ and Caleb Downs also spoke, giving insight into where the Buckeyes team mindset is right now. We unpack what it means nationally. We'll dive into Washington's fatal flaws and what could derail their playoff push, plus a bigger picture discussion. Is the Big Ten falling behind because of its scheduling strength compared to other leagues? I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, we were talking pre-show, spending hella money moving per usual on items I don't want to buy. If anybody out there needs another kid, let me know. Or just super chat, one of the two.
Yeah, Q, the perpetual mover, he's constantly moving. And I'm like, bro, not I. I'm not going nowhere. You're going to have to drag me out of this place before I pack up and move again. Q, plenty to talk about today. I looked in the show notes. You have a trivia question to start the day. But before we get there, I have some bad news.
What is that?
You may be getting fired here soon, because I might be bringing back Smash That Like as my co-host, because our like numbers have been down these past couple days, and we're going to need to run those likes up. So make sure you smash that like button so Q can keep his name, or he's going to get fired, and I'm going to have to bring that Smash That Like guy back.
That dude retired, and I'm going to go hack the system and move the live at 8 a.m. over to my side, and we'll see what space for Smash That Like finds its way on the left.
But you have some trivia for us.
I do, Ron. So maybe some of you seen this, but I hope most of you haven't. So Ron James, a guy by the name of Tom Brady that you might know, is playing a flag football game in Saudi Arabia. One flag football game. As we know, Saudi Arabia spends big money on their athletes, Ronaldo and guys that have gone over there. My question for you is, how much is Saudi Arabia paying Tom Brady for this one game? And a little fun fact for you, a clue, it's in the millions.
Oh, I was guessing in the millions. I was guessing I would imagine he's getting a vet minimum to play one game. Or are we looking at like, hockey money, 11 million? Am I too high there?
I'm going to give you two more guesses. You need to go higher, a lot higher.
Oh, okay. 28 million?
A lot higher.
What? 28 million?
A lot. I'll give you two more guesses.
Dude, if I guess any higher, I'm going to get us banned for the things that I would say that I would do for this type of money. Like, when are the Saudis going to get into Ohio State podcasting? Fuck this flag football game, bro. Like, run the memberships up. Like, what? You know what I want to hear? Like, man, wow, some real weird Saudi interest in the Buckeye Roast. Big on Ohio coffee. They just started donating hundreds of memberships a week so everybody could watch Chris Drew's members only live streams. Like, Q. Cool for Tom Brady. I get it that he lost his breadwinner of a wife and he's out here twerking for money in Saudi Arabia. But Q, how do we get them on the phone?
Well, it's a couple ways. You could be an international soccer star. They pay a lot for that with oil money.
My highlights from my soccer days are too grainy. I don't even know if they're gonna rock with the footage.
Ron, you are a good editor. You just need to Photoshop your face onto Ronaldo's highlights, and you'll make plenty.
The last time I had on a pair of soccer cleats, I pulled my hamstring and I said, yep, that's my official retirement from competitive sporting events.
So I'm happy you limped off into the sunlight
Absolutely. I left my cleats there on the field too. An official retirement, like
Yo,
never
wow.
coming back.
Just no chance.
Never coming back. I'm never gonna need these again. Your boy's done running.
Ooh, I think I have one pair of football cleats and a few basketball shoes left, so I'm ready to come out. Eventually, if those shoes haven't been sitting so long that they still fit. Okay, it is. I'll give you one more guess. It is above $50 million.
69.
75.
See, he had a chance to do something there.
Yeah, 69 or 67 would have really set the internet on fire, but we're going with 75 million for one flag football game for Tom Brady.
Who else is playing? Like, is the roster full? Like, are there tryouts for this team? Like, I know I said I'm retired from running, but your boy might start stretching if I can get in on this. Like, clearly no salary cap for this game. No.
I have heard the name Saquon Barkley possibly playing in a flag game, so those are the two I've heard. But
I heard the name Saquon Barkley when thinking about me playing flag football. I'm like, well, that's kind of you.
It's those two are names I've heard, but you can certainly make the roster. I'm saying just Photoshop.
They need announcers. If Tom Brady's in the announcing game now, if he's playing, who's going to be announcing it?
I don't know. The Buckeye Roast, I heard.
I mean, anybody with connections to people that are paying $75 billion for a flag football game, get them in touch with us because clearly they have money to just wastefully invest.
Look, I don't even need to get paid to announce. You just need to get me there in first class with a nice hotel and get me back home.
Fuck what he's talking about. I need that bag.
See, Ron, their generosity is going to carry them over to actually paying us. You just can't start high. You got to be like, just get, I like you guys so much. Just get me there. I'll do it for free. I just need a nice hotel, a rental car, and food, and hotel and flight, and we're good.
We're going to have to check in on the time exchange to see what time the Buckeye Roast is going to be airing once we are relocated to Saudi Arabia.
But yeah, that's all the trivia I got, man. Let's jump into the show, man. Play the song. Let's get to it.
Q, that's not how I anticipated starting the show, shaking a can for the Saudis, but I mean, my offer stands. Ryan Day spoke to the media yesterday.
Offer stands is crazy.
Ryan Day spoke to the media yesterday and talked about Devin Sanchez and his preparation that allowed him to play early. And he didn't just talk about Devin Sanchez. He talked about the entire Sanchez family and what they meant to that recruiting class and how locked in they were. I didn't even really consider like the type of leap that probably gives you as far as like we always talk about guys arriving at Ohio State in the spring and graduating early so they have that spring semester, and how when guys show up as true freshmen in the summer, they usually feel like they're a year behind. And when he talked about Devin Sanchez's preparation and how far back it extended, it seems like they knew Devin Sanchez was so locked in that it almost allowed him to prepare to become an Ohio State Buckeye that much earlier because there wasn't so much on the fence. There was no more courting period. Once he was locked in, it was now on to that next phase of taking all the steps to become a Buckeye. And you're seeing how that progress and work has paid off because he's one of the first guys that you're seeing get on the field.
Yeah, I mean, especially the way the high school recruiting game now. I mean, I think usually the earlier locked in, the better it is. And I say that because I know coaches will reach out to you. They'll tell you this is things you want to work on, workout plans, certain things like that, even before you're done as a high school football player. And then you go into now, you don't even have to wait till spring ball. I mean, Devin Sanchez was there for the playoff run, getting to workout lift. Like he was there in December getting ready for this playoff run, and that's valuable practices and valuable reps. So I mean, it's almost like he's been there for a year before he's even started his first year in the program. So definitely to help him get prepared. And that's news for guys like you're able to make an early decision. It's not for everybody. I know, especially now it's really hard because it's like, yeah, I'm really ready to go to Kent State. You sure? I got $200,000 for you. Yeah, Ohio sounds great. Ohio U, I'm there. Oh, we got 500 for you. Oh, yeah, I'm going somewhere else. So I understand it's very difficult, but for him, it has paid off. And obviously the trust is there. Playing against Texas in your first game, like, how crazy is that? You think a couple years ago, no chance in hell we would have been talking about a freshman on the field playing against Texas outside of a Denzel Burke situation. Now he's there. He's getting valuable reps. So, I mean, shout out to him. And it looks like he's getting prepared for this Big Ten run. And we're going to see how much he plays because it feels like it's going up and up and up.
I feel like Denzel doesn't get enough credit for what he did. And I mean, I could remember like the panic that went out, like as far as our group chats and texting everyone, like, we're watching that Minnesota game and they're like starting at cornerback, true freshman Denzel Burke. We're like, huh? I'm like, why? They wanted him as a receiver. Like when they first contacted him, what? And the fact that he ended up becoming a 4-year starter and contributing to a national championship winning team. Ryan Day talked about Caden Curry and the success that he's having this year and talking about how every Buckeyes path isn't linear, but there's still multiple ways to success at Ohio State. And I feel like you're just continuing to add data points to that point that Ryan Day is making, that, hey, it might not look the same, but there's so many different ways that you can achieve greatness as a Buckeye. And Caden Curry's path, not the same path as Denzel Burke or Denzel Burke starting from day one, Devin Sanchez having packages on day one against the number one team in the country. And then you see a guy like Caden Curry who's been up and down. They've asked him to put on weight to move inside. He's played all over the defensive line, and he's having his most productive year and looking like a true menace on the defensive line this season. And I feel like that has to be a great recruiting tool for the Buckeyes, that you have so many different examples of ways that you can come be great at Ohio State. You see a Will Howard come in after his path at Kansas State and win a national championship at quarterback. Quinshon Judkins, they pitch him the opportunity to come in and split the backfield with another dynamic back, and you see them put together a two-headed monster. Jeremiah Smith, the number one overall recruit in the country, comes in and makes a mark on college football as a true freshman. Austin Saraville, a guy that came in not the highest rated offensive lineman in his class and is now starting at left tackle. You just see all of these different opportunities. I mean, even go back to Kate Stover. We've watched that guy play on both sides of the ball in a Rose Bowl. Like, it's just like the opportunities are limitless. And we've talked about this on episodes past of like, seems like Ryan Day, like, in this staff just lets people come here and decide whatever their path is going to be, and then they figure it out once they pick. And it just seems like things are a little bit more buttoned up and more defined now, but a lot of people are finding different ways to make their mark as a Buckeye, and it's not necessarily linear. And I think Caden Curry is a great example of that, and Ryan Day hit on that in his press conference.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it for a long time. It's not where you start; it's really where you finish. And all paths are different. Guys mature at different rates, and you see some guys just magically like turn it on. I mean, we've talked about that for years and years. It's like this guy didn't even play last year, and he might be the best wide receiver, or the best safety, or the best corner we've seen in years, which is just, it comes out of nowhere. So definitely a shout out to those guys. I mean, Caden Curry, like you said, is having a monster year, and you would have figured like if you watch him this year, you'd have been like, oh, this guy's been a wrecking ball the last 3 years at Ohio State. And it's like, we had some guys in front of him, and it was like, it was
not even guys in front of him. I'd be the first one to admit when they went out and grabbed Bo Atkinson in the portal, we had heard so much talk about Kenyatta Jackson. I thought the writing was on the wall for Caden Curry, and that was them either lighting a fire under him or just saying, hey, I know you've been here putting in the work, but we also have to go out and make sure that we ensure depth and continue to have competition at this position. And it feels like he grabbed the bull by the horns and has become an absolute wrecking ball for this defensive line.
See, that just speaks to Matt to Matt P's genius. He said, if I bring in Bo Agason, everybody's just going to watch film on him, and they won't be prepared for King Curry on Saturdays. Then when he starts, they're like, who's this guy? So
the good old transfer portal distraction.
You see who our left starting tackle?
Who's that over there?
Say Ethan's our left starting tackle. Nope, they're not prepared for Archie Cerebell to walk out there. We got him. So, just a little mind tricks by the game. But yeah, man, it's been fun to watch him progress. And obviously, guys developing is sort of the best part of the sport for me. I mean, you see guys come in and you see where they are. I mean, even go back to like Travion Henderson. What a couple of years ago we talked about, man, this guy can't stay healthy. I mean, I was on Spaces one time. They told me he wasn't a top 5 back in the Big Ten. Next thing I know, he's a second-round draft pick and an early second-rounder. So with that, I mean, bats are different, but it's the fun part about college football.
Absolutely. One of the things that makes college football great. Ryan Day also gave us an injury update. You were just talking shit on Ryan Day, talking about how we don't get any injury updates. Well, Ryan Day must be watching the show because he said, you know what, Q? You don't know anything. Lorenzo Styles back this week.
Okay. That's about the only updates he'll give, but sure. Tell me when a guy's out and I'll take you seriously.
I think that's huge for the Buckeyes. I talked about how it is cool to see Devin Sanchez come onto the field when they knock Jermaine Matthews inside in the nickel role when Lorenzo goes off the field. But I feel like this defense is the most dynamic when they feel comfortable rotating all 3 safeties. And I think Lorenzo Styles gives them the best ability to do that. And again, another testament to not every Buckeye path is linear and might not even start as a Buckeye or at the position that you finish at as a Buckeye. So I'm glad to hear that he is healthy and back. Something else that Ryan Day talked about, this a little interesting nugget tied into Washington. It was after the Washington Rose Bowl victory when Urban gave Ryan Day the whistle. So just a little bit of Buckeye lore attached to this game. And it just feels like, we'll get into it later with some of the other Buckeyes and what they had to say about this game. But I've been saying it all year. It feels like Ryan Day is a different man. It feels like this is a different program. It feels like these guys are – one of the things that I worried about coming off a national championship was that this team would get complacent having just won a national championship. But it feels like this team is moving with the same amount of hunger, but with a different level of experience. That like they are just as hungry as they were last year, but they feel like they have a confidence of we've been there, we've seen it all, we've done it, except for beat Michigan. But other than that, they have everything handled. So I don't know, man. This team feels like it has a different confidence. And last year it got to a point where it's like, all right, Ryan Day's just going out there giving us coach speak every day. I don't want to hear it. We stopped listening to the interviews, but I've really enjoyed the press conferences so far this year, and most of Ryan Day's media availability. And I guess that's a shout out to the beat too. I think the questions have been not all, but a lot better.
Yeah. Definitely pulling the information out of Ryan Day over the years was increasingly difficult, but I think winning the national championship does that for you. And I think in years past, we've kind of our biggest worry coming off, a national championship year or a big time year is can you keep the right coaches together to keep this going? And Ryan Day has proved now, and we had questions about it before, he can make the right hires. And right now the ball's still rolling. I mean, Matt P. been a very successful hire. Everybody's happy with it. Brian Hartline so far still got things to test out, but people have been very happy with it. So it seems like the program is moving. Of course, I mean, you talk about after, November, people are ready to beat down the door and throw Ryan Day out into the Ohio River. Now they're praising his glory, ready to, throw more money and say, hey, like, be all you can be. We'll give you money. Go hire coaches. Go spend money in NIL. Do everything you want to do. So, I mean, definitely a national championship builds that confidence. But it's cool to see this Ryan Day because now he's comfortable. Now he can really be him. It feels like his path is working. And really, there's no big threats out there really in college football that's stopping him from being him. I mean, one of the biggest threats we already see earlier in the year. And it's like, wow, Ohio State sure bounced back better than Texas did. So, I mean, you got to be confident right now with what Ryan Day's doing.
Yeah, I mean, and you talked about his hiring practice. You could make an argument that every hire post the Kerry Combs debacle has been a level up given hindsight. I guess the jury's still out on Tyler Bowen, but I mean, the Justin Fry hire was a level up. I mean, you have to, I mean, I was probably the most vocal critic of the MG hire. And I mean, with the way Jalen McClain and Caleb Downs are playing together, I mean, I don't know how much credit you give them for Caleb Downs being Caleb Downs, but Jalen McClain and Lorenzo Styles, what they're doing this season, you absolutely have to give him credit for that. Coach Walt has been an absolute dude. You see Devin Sanchez, the number one cornerback in the country, playing. James Laurinaitis has completely transformed that linebacker room. Another hire. Coach Key takes a step forward and brings this tight end room into a space that we've never seen before at Ohio State. Coach Locke brings a new energy to that running back room. I just feel like Ryan Day has really hit these hires out of the park, even if some of them at the time didn't necessarily appear to be the home run hires that they turned out to be. And of course, I mean, our guy, Him Knowles, that was a great hire, completely transformed the defensive identity, and love him or hate him, he's gone now, but you can't deny that the defense leveled up, and there's an identity and a toughness with this defense that is still there with Matt P. And I feel like now we took a defense that was already tough. And you know what I mean? The highlights of the goal line stands that we saw during the national championship run, we carry that over. And then we put a guy that makes the defense more fun and more exciting. And I feel like it's taking it even to the next level. So, I mean, if Tyler Burns able to, I mean, we see the depth at the offensive line position right now. If he's able to keep this going, I think Ryan Day's track record for hiring pretty spot on, minus one or two slip-ups. And even those, I feel like he managed them decently well and rebounded from them. And Jeff Hafley doesn't leave early. We might not even have that defensive coordinator debacle that we experienced.
Yeah, you have to agree. I mean, he's been pretty on point. I mean, the only one I probably wouldn't give him credit for James Laurinaitis, because it felt like us as the fans got that one done. Like, we were like, bro, he's right there.
I give it to his agent, hold his feet to the fire. I'm going to go to the Browns if you don't hire me.
Yeah. I think the fans and James had the force to get that one done, and it's turned out, excellent. But yeah, I mean, I think his hiring has been elite. I mean, it tells you something when Matt G, who was Jim Knowles' guy, stayed here and didn't go to Penn State or didn't go over there to take that opportunity. He's like, I love what's going on. And also on top of that, with him not getting the DC role and staying on, because you figure you're like, I might have to give him a little co-coordinator for him to stay if he's Jim Knowles' guy. He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to coach, Jalen McClain, Caleb Downs, and have fun with it and have the best safety tandem probably that we've seen this year. I mean, I've watched all ball, but they're pretty damn good. So if there's some better than out there, let me know so I can go watch them. But yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I think the hiring has been excellent. And again, a confident Ryan Day is something we've wanted to see for a long time. And you've heard the Georgia Ryan Day, the Tennessee Ryan Day. You know what he does when he's confident and he feels comfortable with his staff and he's able to move and be the best version of himself. And I think that's what we're getting right now. Let's hope that panels into another national championship, but I'm enjoying the ride right now. And like I said, we've had plenty of shows to be critical and upset, and I think Ryan Day is keeping us happy right now, and that's why our show is going so positive, because trust me, we're no strangers to complain. I'll be ready to play in a second, but Ryan Day is limiting me from doing that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because my favorite thing to talk about is this show. If you've been here, we are approaching almost 200 episodes together here on the Buckeye Roast. If you enjoy what we do here, make sure you smash that like button. But people always used to say when we first started that we just complain to complain. No, we don't. I complain when we're not doing the things that we said we set out to do with realistic expectations. And while I feel like the Lunatic Fringe's expectations have been a little bit extreme at times, when the Buckeyes are performing and winning and performing on the trail and not getting in their own way and not doing things to self-sabotage themselves. I am a fan that loves this team, that is going to rock with it, and I'm going to shut up and enjoy it. And we're getting that right now. Like, we have an opportunity to enjoy that. And like, proof that we're not just here to complain. I mean, believe me, I like to complain. I mean, there's not things are good right now, and a big matchup coming up, and I'm sure there's going to be things to correct. But I feel like the national championship validation, the confidence that we've seen from Ryan Day, we've talked about in years past. It feels like Ryan Day's teams take on his identity, good or bad, whether it be Cocaine Day at Georgia or whether it be the Depends commercial looking day after a Michigan loss. It's like whatever one you see, like you think about the Cal McCord pregame speech where he tells, let's not go out there and make mistakes. And like, that is 1000% Ryan Day energy. But you see this new guy in these press conferences and the confidence, and it makes you wonder how much is that spilling over to the rest of the team and the staff, and how much is that changing the identity with inside the Woody, and are they moving with a different level of confidence from top to bottom within the organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about the transformation over the couple of years, and we talked about personalities coming into the Woody. You just have a different level of I guess sections of players have come in. The Ohio players, I obviously talked about the Jersey guys. I mean, bringing a guy like Caleb Downs, we heard off season like how mature he is, and saying like, hey, that championship stuff, like take that down. I'm trying to go get another one. So I think that was a big part, because it wasn't that long ago we were like, man, we looked over at Michigan like, where are the leaders at? We don't have those guys. It doesn't feel like that anymore. I feel like they really turned a corner. And then you talk about Ryan Day being confident in his staff, being able to, vent their problems and check him and be able to say, hey, I think this is working out better, and him trusting those guys. So I think the entire evolution, this is stuff we've complained about in the past, has just changed to move forward now. You can go complain about facilities or something else, but it's not affecting what's happening on the field right now. People are balling. So I think they're happy. The football's going on Saturdays. We're happy, and we complain less. We're not assholes. I don't want to just sit up here and complain. Like, I'm not just going to create a problem out of nowhere. But when things are going good, this is why I complain to get them here, so now I can enjoy it.
One of my favorite episodes that we did back in the day was talking about the different regional pipelines that we have at Ohio State and the impacts that they've had on the identity of the team. And you look at this defense and like the imprint that Jersey has on this defense with, Jalen McClain, Iggy, Taiwan Malone, just seeing all of these different areas and then recruit nationally while also having, Ohio on lock outside of Jordan Marshall. Discussion for another day. The show wrapped yesterday, and I was during the outro, I was looking at my phone, and Jordan Marshall highlights came across my phone, and I had the show wrapped. And the second that the show ended, I just said to Q out of nowhere, "I can't believe we didn't get Jordan Marshall."
It happens, man. Recruiting's another topic.
Recruiting is another topic. JJ also talked to the media, and he talked about frustrations. And as it says on the cover, frustration now fuel. JJ talked about being frustrated in the Texas game with the drops. He talked about feeling like on the fade route in the Ohio game that he should have came down with it, and they should have had more success in the red zone. But he said that just because of the high standard that he holds himself to, and it just makes him want to go out there and dominate more. Q, is it possible to say that we have not even seen remotely close to the best of Jeremiah yet this season?
Yeah, I mean, it is possible. I mean, you think about the Texas game, I'm sure he wish he had a better impact. Now, I will say Texas held him in check, and by held, I'm talking about literally grabbed him and made sure, rightfully or wrongfully, he wasn't catching the ball and getting open. But it's also another discussion. Yeah, I mean, I think Jeremiah, and the great thing about him is he stays motivated. He stays locked in, and you feel it around this wide receiver room. And I mean, when you have guys that are talented and come here and expect to play to a high level like Marv did, not currently, but usually like Garrett Wilson did, like Chris Olave and all JSN, all those guys. Like the standard is set. So you're always chasing something, and it's something like Jeremiah Smith probably doesn't feel like he probably feels like I'm not the best wide receiver to play at Ohio State the last few years. I got all these first rounders in front of me. I'm still chasing that and trying to get better. So, I mean, that's high motivation for a guy that's that extreme talented. And I feel like we still have another year and 9 months of Jeremiah Smith at the Ohio State program. And no, I feel like he's definitely going to get better. His body's going to continue to look different. And if he locks in on his skill set, like again, what's it? The roof is the ceiling.
The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah.
You talked about where he stands in Ohio State receiver lore. He talked about in the press conference, he's very hard on himself and he knows what he wants to accomplish. And you go back to interviews from when he was in high school and he told you exactly what he wanted to accomplish. He said, I'm coming to Ohio State to be the best wide receiver that ever did it. And he's going out there trying to do it. And the fact that he holds himself to that high of a standard, and they're out there, they beat the number one team in the country, and he's still thinking, hey, I need to be better. I can't have those drops. They're whooping up on Ohio. And he's like, hey, I know that was a tough catch, but Julian put the ball where it needed to be. I need to come down with that. It just shows the level of greatness that he's striving for.
Yeah, and taking advantage of the opportunity. I mean, there's no question Brian Hartline is doing anything possible in following Chip Kelly. Like, I got to get this guy the ball. No matter what happens, I got to get Jeremiah Smith the ball to make sure he gets his targets every game. So, I mean, with that level of offense being pushed your way, I mean, you want him to have that high standard and say, hey, if they're going to give me all these opportunities, I'm going to make the best of it, because we have other great guys, Max Clare, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, insert player here, who could use those opportunities as well. So I'm glad he's appreciative of them and trying to make the most of them, because the offense is really running around him.
Q, I feel like this might be a crazy conspiracy theory, but I feel like Jeremiah Smith is the reason that Jerry Emig is retiring. Because if I'm an NFL team, I'm looking at Jeremiah Smith like, well, I know one thing. This guy is truthful and maybe a little too truthful. Every time he gets in front of the microphone, it feels like Jerry's standing behind all the reporters like, no, stop. Don't say that. He slipped up a little bit and almost gave away the starting quarterback position earlier in the season, talking about Julian saying during the offseason, and it felt like everybody was running with Julian as the starter after that. It reminds me of when they asked Quentin Williams about Kyler Murray, and he started to get a little too honest, and then he just stopped exactly what he was, everything that he was saying, and pivoted the topic. And it felt like that happened again in Jeremiah's interview when they were asking him about Brian Hartline being up in the booth, and he said he misses having someone that could talk to him like that during the games, and it doesn't really get that with Brian Hartline up in the booth. And then he realized what he said, and he tried to cover it up a little bit and say, well, Devin Jordan's there, but it's not that much of a difference, actually, now that I think about it. It's just like, he got a little bit honest there, and you could tell. And not so much that something's missing there, but what I took from that is it speaks to how much he reveres Brian Hartline and respects the level of coaching that he provides him. And it's funny because you hear these Miami fans say, oh, Jeremiah showed up to Ohio State a 5-star, and he constantly is singing the praises of Brian Hartline and the impact that he's had on his development. So to hear him say that, like, there's a noticeable difference of like not having that voice on the sidelines, it just shows the impact that Brian Hartline's having on his development.
Yeah, I mean that's why he came here, and they always say that thing where they're like, oh, a 5-star is a 5-star, no matter where they go, where they play. We've seen a lot of times that is very much not true. We are tracking former 5-stars right now as we hop into our recruiting, but it does matter who you play for, and it does matter what school you go to, because you need that baseline around. And I think Jeremiah Smith realizes, one, Brian Hartline now has experience. He's coached a lot of first-round wide receivers, but he knows the tool it takes, and he knows how to succeed at the highest level. So trying to push Jeremiah Smith there, even though he's not playing in the NFL yet, but having someone who's there with you during games to figure out your frustration, you're trying to make plays and be able to coach you through that is very important. So you will understand with Brian Hartline now being in the box, that is just not the same thing. Now he's got Devin Jordan, he's got other guys around. I mean, even at one time we talked about having Chris Carter on the sideline to somebody just to have that voice.
They made that up, but go ahead.
Yeah, we had talked about it, but just having that guy on the sideline to be like, okay, hey, like I'm frustrated. Somebody talk me through this, and it's a relationship thing. I'm sure him and Devin Jordan will work it out, and we'll be just fine. He will be able to help him. But I mean, he came to play for Brian Hartline, so he will understand the differences on the sideline.
Absolutely. It made me wonder, like when you hear things like that, does it make you wonder, like with the amount of support staff you're allowed to have on game day, every position coach should have a dedicated, like, should you have position coaches and then coordinators? Like, I'm past the time of wanting to see if your name is not Brian Hartline and you're not the best position coach in the country, kind of want a coordinator and a position coach, not someone double duty, kind of like how we had last year with Chip Kelly. I mean, I guess Chip was technically the quarterback coach.
Yeah, he's technically the quarterback coach, but here or there. No, it would make sense with all the position coaches. I mean, I even say I would also have a recruiter on staff, just like, hey, you recruit, you coach, you coordinate it. We're all good here. So I may even go that far. But yeah, I mean, it would make sense. But also, Ohio State is not only player development, but coach development. I mean, we've seen a lot of these guys like Coach Key, Hartline start in non-permanent roles, and now they've worked their way up there. So who's not to say Devin Jordan's not another great next wide receiver coach?
Hashtag developed here.
Yeah. Maybe not Ohio State, because we heard Brian Hartline's around for a while, but maybe somewhere in college football. So it's another piece of the puzzle, and they're trying to develop both a staff and a unit on the field. So it's very important. But yeah, I mean, I got to trust Brian Hartline, Jeremiah Smith. They know what they're doing. They've done it before, just like we talked about Ryan Day earlier. So I think it'll be fine. But I understand where he's coming from, because a lot of times when you have coach now doing different stuff, it's like, dang, I just hang out with my coach, man. I want to be around him, and you don't get as much time anymore.
A peek behind the curtain. The first steps of this show coming together are me sending Chris a list of topics, of general topics of what we're going to talk about, so he can record the intro before we jump on and record the show. And he mentioned in the intro, Caleb Downs, Q. Do you happen to have the note open?
Yeah, I do.
Can you read what my note for Caleb Downs says?
Said nothing, in my opinion.
And that is my summary of Caleb Downs. I watched the interview twice to see if I could find anything interesting worth talking about. No. So I pivot to Sonny Styles, who gave us a little bit more fun and interesting comments. He talked about how quick Damon Williams is and how shifty he is. And he had to go pretty far back to think about a quarterback that is as dynamic as him. He referenced the Tulane quarterback, the Tulsa quarterback, his freshman year as being being the last one that dynamic. He said they're currently using Phillip Bell as the scout team quarterback to replicate it because he's so fast and shifty. I've been hearing about this all week, but I think Sonny Styles is the first person that really made my ears perk up when he talked about the athleticism for him to pay that much respect. How aware of this athleticism were you?
Of Phillip Bell or the Washington quarterback?
Be the fuck for real. I'm talking about the quarterback.
We know
Phillip Bell's a dude. I'm well aware of that.
I mean, it's good to hear Phillip Bell's out there shifty and can move. I not like I'm gonna see him, so I'm happy to hear something. Oh my
god, you're gonna get us canceled. They're gonna be like, unserious platform. This guy Q picked Phillip Bell as the quarterback next year to challenge Julian Sane.
He's shifty, as they say. Can he pass? That's all I'm worried about. Obviously, Damon Williams. Yeah, I'm very aware. It's funny. Sonny Styles talks about what's his name that went to Baylor after he played for who was it that we played? I forget his name now. Yeah, DeQuan Finn. That kind of where you reminds you of DeQuan Finn making great athletes look like what did they say in the longest yard? He make fast people look not so fast. Like that was what DeQuan Finn was doing to our defense that year. And you look at Damon Williams, and you're like, yeah, he's just another one of those guys of like how did he end up at quarterback in college? Because I'm so surprised somebody like Alabama didn't say, hey, come play wide receiver and just be shifty and make guys miss. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very aware. Again, I talked about it earlier in the week saying he's going to really challenge Arvell Reese and probably these linebackers and these defensive ends to keep him in the pocket, keep him contained. But when a great athlete like that is just somebody you hate playing against. I mean, think about the days you played football. You had a shifty quarterback, and it was just like, man, come on. Like, everyone's covered. There's nothing open. Oh, he just ran for 15 yards and made 2 people miss. It just pisses you off.
Absolutely. He talked about prepping for the noise, and we hit on it a little bit earlier. And it was one of the things that made me think about the comment that I made earlier about Ryan Day's culture and just the preparation. And I was like, I don't know if I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid post-national championship and everything that they say sounds like they're doing the right thing. But like every person that has talked about this noise seems like so unfazed by it. Like the facility has been so loud this week, like it's so loud that we completely tune it out, like you almost don't even hear it. And I've heard that comment made by now multiple players so far this week. Q, are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Do you feel like this team has done enough preparation? I mean, you go back and you see all the old documentaries of them playing, you know, the Florida State chop and practices. Like, it's not like this is some newfangled idea of like, oh, we're going to make our practice loud, but they seem confident in their preparation. Are you buying this? Do you think the Buckeyes have figured this out and are prepared to go on the road and deal with this noise?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be fine. I mean, especially defensively, you're reacting to the ball. And obviously, when you play general sports at a high level, again, I haven't been in the horseshoe in the, at a night game and been on the field, but the noise tends to go away when you're actually playing. And you'll notice that when you play through sports like pre-snap, yeah, you'll hear it because there's a little less going on. But as soon as the game lights up, it's like you just kind of lock in. So a great
I felt like when
that.
Yeah, I'm not a Division I athlete, but like even as a kid, like when I was playing basketball, like people would ask me like, "Oh, did you hear such and such?" I'm like, "No." Like when I'm hooping, there could literally be a concert going on and I wouldn't hear nothing.
Yeah, you start to not hear it. I mean, it's just a natural thing. I don't know how that works. I don't know what level of physics or sound that goes into that, but you really just don't hear it. But think about these guys. I mean, they played in a national championship. Like they played in the game against Texas down in what it was at Dallas. So I'm seeing these guys have been in loud environments before. They played at Penn State. I don't think Washington.
Honestly, at this point, having lost to Michigan last year as a 22-point favorite, how could you be worried going into any environment? Like, I promise y'all, you cannot disappoint this fan base any more than what happened last year on the 3rd week of November. Like, play with house money at this point.
You'll never hear boos louder than you did in Ohio Stadium last November.
They're not playing the fucking flag again.
So, yeah. No, I think they'll be fine. The pre-snap penalty is something you worry about a little. Like that's just gonna happen, but that's just anticipation. It happens all the time. So hopefully we limit those. But other than that, I'm not worried about the noise. It's not like the noise is so loud, Julius Haynes is not going to see Jeremiah Smith running wide open. It's not so loud. Caleb Downs is going to be like, shit, I can't tackle this guy. The ground's shaking. And he just gets juked out of shoes. Like, that happens. I will be the first to say I was wrong, but I don't believe that's going to happen.
That's so funny. It's not going to be so loud that you can't see Jeremiah Smith. That is a bar.
I think it's open, but it's loud.
Well, Q, I feel like you're peeking ahead of the notes because I have a section in here called Washington Fatal Flaws. And they've talked a lot about how much Washington is committed to playing man, and we've heard that in years past. And Q, I just wanted to read a quote from a great philosopher about this situation. I'm just laughing in my head. Why are y'all really playing man on man against us, or against me, I should say? And when we see man coverage against any of our receivers, we're going to take a shot downfield. So I'm just letting everybody know right now, if you want to play man, we're taking a shot. That is Jeremiah.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on this idea that they're going to come out here and potentially attempt to play man against South Florida Express?
Yeah, I mean, that is what they do. So I don't think they'll sway too far from it, but it'll probably just be one of those things where it's like, yeah, we'll play Manuel Jeremiah, but he's gonna have a lot of help. Or like we're gonna play Manuel Cardinal Tate, but we're gonna help him out and let a Max Clare or Brandon Ennis beat us. Like I don't Ohio did that, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just help them, Brandon Ennis," and it was a bad idea. So I don't expect Washington to come out and do the same thing. I think they'll get help. We'll find ways to get guys the ball as we always do, but I don't think it's gonna be like, "Hey, you're on an island. Good the fuck luck." Like I don't think that's gonna happen. But if it is, I will be surprised. But I think those guys will get help, and again, this will be a time for Max Clare. He's came over. He's starting to catch on a little bit in those tight ends. We're getting a lot of time, so you see them involved, and Brandon Ennis is another guy who you can't double everybody. Somebody got to say man up with and say we will try to cover him, and we'll see what Brandon Ennis can do. So that's what I'm looking forward to on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is the game that Brandon Ennis gets involved. My my bookmark folder on Twitter would appreciate it. So be looking forward to that. One last thing that I wanted to hit on before we get out of here, but something we need the audience to hit on is that like button. We need you guys to smash that like button. Our likes have been low. We're thinking about legally changing Q's name to Smash That Like. I know how much the name Q means to him and would hurt him to depart with.
I'm here to tell you, 75 million, and you call me whatever you want to call me, legally or illegally.
I'm here with my guy, Smash That Like, Sonny Q.
I will go. I will answer anything you call me. Trust me. Every man has a price.
Oh, man. Well, I wanted to talk about the Big Ten, and it seems like this is kind of again, another nuts on the table situation by the Big Ten where they just come out and say, we haven't even discussed the idea of adding a requirement for a Power 4 opponent in the non-con scheduling. We've seen ACC about to adapt the 9-conference game schedule and also a Power 4 requirement of a single game. We know the SEC has that scheduling requirement. You think the Buckeyes should do it? Well, not the Buckeyes, the Big Ten, I guess.
No, I mean, it's something that, we're so used to it. It's like you don't actually have that requirement. If you're actually trying to actively go, and I know Indiana has now.
I was about to say, let me introduce you to a guy named Kurt Signetti.
He's the first one to do it, but typically in the Big Ten, we've grown used to that. You play a Texas or a top 25 team, and then you go through your schedule. So it's something that's kind of a handshake agreement in the Big Ten. So I don't think there's something they're necessarily saying like we have to do it because Wisconsin just played Alabama. You look across the Big Ten, like those guys are playing at least a Power 4 team. So I don't think they're too worried about it. Now, if it was able to become a problem and Ohio State said we're going to play like Ohio, Kent State, and Akron, it's like, okay, now we might need to go change something to get a big time game in there, especially with an expanded playoff. It's so like it really doesn't matter if you lose that game. Now, you lose a couple more games, it will matter, but in the conference schedule with that guaranteed bid, if you finish in the top 3-4 of the Big Ten, you'll be fine. So yeah, I will say I don't think the Big Ten needs to adapt it. I think as long as things don't change and this sort of handshake agreement that they have where schools go out and play people continues, then I think they'll be fine.
Q, I hate the person that I'm becoming, but I am becoming a college football capitalist. And you're probably like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
bro,
is that?
I am so done. I don't want to see Ohio State play group of 4 opponents. Like I have no use to watch Ohio State play Grambling. I don't need them. I don't need to see them play OU. I don't need to see them play any of these scrub teams on the schedule. I want to see if we're going to only get 12 college football games minimum a year. I want to see 12 of the best possible matchups possible. I want to see Ohio State playing as many as the best teams as they can. Like, I am so over this idea of playing any of these scrub teams. Like, I am full on super conference, full steam ahead. I want to see a massive playoff with lots of games on college campuses. I want to see week in, week out top matchups of good teams every week, a full slate of action-packed games. I'm like, let's supercharge this thing. Let's get all the fluff out of here and let's go full on, chase the money and give me the best games week in and week out. I want money grabs everywhere. If it means look, here's my thing. It feels like money is dominating the sport. If it's going to dominate the sport, can we at least make sure we're maximizing and making sure that the product that we're getting out of it and the viewer experience for the people that actually pay for the sport are getting the best product out of it? And I think, I don't know, man. And I know a lot of people love the pageantry and all that. Bro, I don't like seeing kids that, we're debating between being athletes or full-time students get destroyed by RL Reese. Like, I can go without seeing that every year. I want to see them play top competition and be challenged. And I feel like it would make the teams better. Like, do you think Ohio State playing some Rant like Boston College would have been better than playing OU? Like, I don't know, man. I would much rather see them get to a point where we're forcing, like we see in college basketball, where you see like the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Why don't we have that in college football?
I mean, that would be great. I mean, I wouldn't call that a college.
Well, what if the first 3 weeks of the college football season were some sort of challenge where it's Big Ten versus ACC, then it rotates to Big Ten versus SEC, Big Ten versus Big 12, and there's your non-con?
I mean, will that be cool? Yeah, it would. I mean, I understand the slate of why things are right now, and that's because a lot of these programs without these games wouldn't even be able to run because they don't have the money. Like Grambling State came to Ohio to get a giant check.
And that's why I'm saying I'm turning into a college football capitalist. Oh, what we need to have what do we need? These socialist college football programs that can't afford to keep themselves afloat? Like, you can
say that, but I mean, look, I'm sure you enjoy going to football games at Slippery Rock. Like, I'm sure you enjoy like tailgating. Like,
hey, my tuition is expensive.
Unfortunately, it doesn't cover all the expenses. They need to go get blasted by Harvard to get that check, I guess.
Bro, we play in the PSAC, bro. We travel far out of the state. Like, I don't know how high you think the Slippery Rock recruiting budget is. I'm glad that you think so highly of the 1936 national champions.
No, never lose to Harvard. They're gonna also be your boss. Just a word out there. Like I get what you're saying. Would it be fun? And it's in college basketball because they have so many more games that they can do both do a challenge and play. I mean, Duke plays Colgate, the toothpaste company. Like, I mean, what are we really talking about here? It's not like they don't got no games where they're playing School of the Blind. Jesus Christ. And don't look up Maryland's schedule because I did not bring this conversation up. That's all I'm saying. But I just want to
no, we're not doing this. I'm just taking a look at Duke's non-conference schedule this season. They play Texas, Army. Shout out to Coach K. Thank you for your service. Kansas, not a walkover. Arkansas, famously coached by one John Calipari. Defending national champions, Florida. Michigan State. Texas Tech, man, get out my face, bro. Don't ever disrespect our non-conference schedule.
Who else do they play? That's not their
Western Carolina, Indiana State, Niagara, Howard, but that's irrelevant. In Lipscomb.
What state is Niagara in?
It's New York. No?
Okay, I'm glad you actually knew because I didn't. All right, anyway. I understand what you're saying. Would it be fun? Yeah, absolutely would be fun. But I am cool with drawing the line at a Power 4 team. And also, it gives us a chance to see these young guys get on the field. I mean, we've already talked about it, wide receiver rotation, and we haven't seen some people play. I mean, that's what you play in Ohio and Grambling State and Akron and all those teams for, to get those guys experience and have them play. So there's some pluses to it. I think a challenge would be very cool. I think you could creatively do a weekend of that and fit in these other non-conference games. Do you think any conference you really pick, ACC is going to have a good team that Ohio State can play and the ranked teams can play. Big 12 and maybe a little bit down with the Big 12, but you're going to get some good games out of it. The SEC, of course, you're going to get some good games out of it. So I think it's possible to do both. So I'm not complaining, but I understand where you're coming from and saying, man, it's sure hard to podcast when we playing Grambling State this week because what are we going to talk about?
Bro, we're playing the conference opponent, and I was half tempted to be like, bro, man, we're scraping the barrel here. It was a bye week last week. We're playing an opponent that we're trying to convince ourselves is like, and here's my thing. Like, we could go out and this game could be way closer than I expect, and then I'm going to come on here and bitch all week next week. But from what I've seen, I don't think that's going to be the case. I feel like the Buckeyes are going to go. And one other gripe that I have to have, like, it feels like this is a way for the national media to pump up the SEC by doing things like not giving Ohio State a ranked win here, by not ranking Washington.
10 ranked.
And then if this was an SEC team, like what's Arkansas ranked right now, or is Mississippi State ranked yet?
I don't think so.
Okay,
they were in the top 10 games, so they can see. I can check.
I don't think they are ranked, but still, like, you would think this Washington team would be ranked, and if the Buckeyes, go out there and dominate them, that gives the AP voters all their validation in not ranking them, and it's like, we got to do to, like, get some respect for our conference, back-to-back national championships. I don't like to claim Michigan's, but, like, little conference pride here.
Yeah. Mississippi State is not ranked currently, but I will say, Ron,
I don't even think Washington received any votes from the AP.
Probably not. It's one of those things where we just got to continue on our lore building, man. I'm telling you, it's a new marketing campaign. We just tell them how hard these schools are to play, how hard it is to go out and play against Washington, and maybe in a couple of years we'll get some respect. So that could be a side.
But see, here's my thing. I don't like lying. Like I'm more of the like. Like I
don't mind lying at all.
Like
when everybody's lying, no one is.
Oh man! On that note, Q, get us out of here. Let the people know, man. Every day I write a show. I'm like, bro, I think this is the one. We're gonna have a short show today, 56 minutes.
We just talk too much, but that's why you come to watch us every day. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
I knew we were going to be on bullshit this episode too, because we normally have like an hour pre-production show where we just sit on here and bullshit and tell all the jokes and laugh for like an hour before the show starts. And today the show was just like written. It was like, all right, the lights are on, start the cameras, and press the record button. So I had fun today.
Sorry to get our jokes out before the show. My bad. Oh, man. Again, make sure you hit that like button, hit that sub button. We are working trying to get those likes up. I like keeping my name, but for 75 million, I will change it legally, permanently, and on my ID. So if you want to hit the super chat and throw that 75 million, if you're watching in Saudi Arabia, please feel free to do so. On Twitter, I am City Boy Quitting, so find me right there. And on Instagram, I'm Flying at Johnson. But Monday through Friday, I'm here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you hit that like button. Ron, where can you find you at?
You can find me right here on the Saudi Roast Monday through Fridays with my guy. Smash that like. We appreciate everybody tuning in here over on Dead Air Sports. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time that we go live Monday through Friday here for the Buckeye Roast. You can catch us in the Bleacher Report app immediately after the game for Ohio State post games. And you can catch me on Twitter at 2Ts. It's 2_TEES. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And you know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
Ayo.
Example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can, you fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's There's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today they report or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44. One. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every snap. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. Where there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever your new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football player. I want a hungry team. And last one, most importantly, I've got to coach a few of them. I want an angry team. I want a pissed off football team. I want a team that has a little chip on their shoulder. Maybe something's been taken from you. Maybe something hasn't. Maybe something's been taken from you. Are you a team that's going to go get it? You're the Ohio State Buckeyes. You're an angry football team. You got an angry staff. You got a bunch of guys that are getting ready to start a journey. We're starting that journey tomorrow at 5 a.m. You're a hungry football team, and I'm proud to be your coach. There's a plan in place, right?